past two results, you must feel like a tide has been turned over the past two results, but obviously you won't feel as if you're completely out of the woods yet.
Always nice to win games, of course, and then the manner we won them was really good. We scored 10 goals. We're playing well, we've got confidence back, so it's set up for a good game, because one thing Queen's Park have in abundance is confidence as well, and playing really well, so really looking forward to the game. Yeah, I wouldn't say a tide has been turned. I know it was in the boys, it was just a matter of time, but it's nice to begin into this game fully confident and playing well, yes.
I mean, where do you even begin with Queen's Park? They've been on such a great run, but obviously the result last night didn't go their way. What are you expecting from there? What are your kind of plans going into that? It's a bit of a strange one, I suppose. As you say, the confidence really helps from your point of view.
Yeah, I'm expecting a full different team from them. They had 9 changes last night, so we know that they've rested boys, they're going to bring them back in, and they're playing with that confidence you're talking about. We know what type of team they are. They're an exciting team. They play, but so are we. They've got a lot of ballers in the right areas, a wee bit like Wraith, and they can cause you problems. But we can be more than a match for that as well, at the other end. So really looking forward to the game, as I say. It's been set up perfectly, hasn't it? It's a game that we probably, I don't like looking too far ahead, but it's a game we probably can't afford to lose if we've any aspirations of doing anything in the title race. But we're in a good place, and I know if my team perform, they are capable of winning the game, but it's going to be really tough.
Brilliant. And we're in the second half of the season now. I just wonder if you were to look at your squad and the team at the moment, what's on your checklist between now and I suppose the end of the season to make sure that the club is there at the end of the season, not pushing for championship and promotion? Well,
we've got to probably go on a run like we did last season, whether it was at the start or whether it was after January when we started. Well, it wasn't after January, it was into March, wasn't it, when the tail end of the season we went on a great run when we played Arbroath here and beat them 3-0. We need that sort of run again. We need to keep winning games, taking as many points as we can to make sure we're pushing right up there. And if you get latched on, like I've always said, with these players coming back, I'll be more than happy, but it's going to take a lot of concentration, a lot of hard work to get there.
And just final one from me, you mentioned the players coming back, which will obviously be a great help. If anything, this season has shown us how vital strength and depth is. Do you think you'll be dipping into the transfer market as well, or the loan market over the coming weeks?
We'd like to think we could. We've got to be shrewd though. We're not a club that can throw money about left, right and centre. So the ones we're looking at have to be shrewd, and that's the way I would put it, because that's the way it is. And if we can do something, we'll do it, but it's going to take a lot of hard work behind the scenes and make sure we get the right people in, but we're trying.
Excellent. Good luck on Saturday.
Cheers, big man.
Just in terms of how tight the league has been in the past, does it give you confidence that is very much a possibility?
Of course. I mean, since I did come to the club when Neil McCann was here, when we went on that unbelievable run where we were looking over our shoulders for relegation, and then suddenly we just missed out by, I think it was a point in a game to get into the playoff places, and then last year we get into the playoff places and we're 45 minutes for Premier League football. So it takes us those sort of runs and that sort of performance levels to be in and about and in the mix come the end of the season. We're lucky we've got experience in doing that, and I hope that it bodes well for us going into the second half of the season, because we're certainly a team that can. I think we're proving that. That's no me being outspoken. I'm just stating facts. So that's what we're hoping for, but we've got to keep picking up points most games.
Now obviously Queen's Park are a team that's obviously had back-to-back promotions, going for another one this year. What have you made of their kind of rise, I suppose, in recent years?
Incredible. A wee bit like Arbroath's run last year. You've got to put them up there, where they're a full-time team though, but they are they must be good on the eye. The Queen's Park fans must be loving watching them, because they just, the movement and the middle to front is really good. They've got dangerous players, but they have frailties like any other team, so we're hoping to exploit them. And as I said, when I come off at Gayfield last week, I thought, do you know what, that sets up, and I've still got the same frame of thought. I can't wait for the game. I think we're getting into it in a good place, so they obviously, that's why we're talking about them. But I can't wait for the game to start. I think it's a big fixture in the championship season, and I think it's one that we can win but only if we're at our best. But as far as Queen's Park concerned, they're having a fairy tale season, aren't they?
And you're obviously facing them kind of quick succession as well in the Scottish Cup as well. You're going to be quite familiar with each other, I suppose, after the 21st of January.
I think most championship teams are familiar with one another, with the amount of times you play them. There's only 10 teams and you play one another, 4 times. So, yeah, we all know what one another brings, and it's just a good fixture, and it's going to be a really tough game, and we're going to have to defend properly, make sure we give nothing away. The way the boys defended second half against Arbroath, if I get that sort of performance defensively, I think we've got more than enough to score goals, hopefully.
Just finally for me, obviously both games at home as well. Are you hoping to kind of capitalise on that home advantage, especially with kind of Queen's Park situation with Hampden as well? Yeah,
I think it's after the 2 results, I think I'd love to see a good showing for the fans and numbers, and just the way they've been doing, because they've not had a lot to shout about this year, and they've had a lot of negativity in terms of losing player after player, and it must drain them, because it drains me. And now we've got a couple of wins. I'd like to see them come, which they are, and they were at Arbroath last week. I thought they were great, as per usual. I'd love to see them come in their numbers at home and make sure they get right behind us, because, as I've said all along since I've come to the club, they're a huge helping hand in getting us where we want to be.
That's grand, Billy. Thanks for that.
Billy, just a couple of quick ones from me, mate. Last week, obviously Dan Mackay was heavily strapped at the end, and Billy obviously took I think he called it impact knock. How are those boys this week?
Yeah, fine, and I'm glad Stevie. Dan's was just a kind of block tackle, side of the foot. He got a sore one in his ankle, but absolutely fine. Billy was just take him off because he'd put in a hell of a shift, so that was great as well. And we're able to make subs with us getting the loan players back from the Highland League, which was great. And you saw with Lewis Nicholson coming on, he was out on loan at Elgin, and to score a goal was brilliant. So it's all positive from us. And no real injury concerns, which is, we've still got the long termers, but we've no real injury concerns after Arbroath last week.
I think we're pleased with obviously the sort of variation of goals as well. I mean, I think the third goal was a great team goal, and I think we were talking about movement a couple of weeks ago. I'm sure you'll be happy, not just the amount of goals, but the quality of goals that was scored last week. They must
be fed up of me on the training ground. We need to have movement. We can't just play in front of teams. We need to pass, move. That's on the ball. Off the ball, we have to work our socks off. I think the dynamics have probably been upped a bit over the last couple of weeks, because that's how you get the results. But I can't emphasise enough about how much confidence is as well, and I think you see it. You saw it in the Cove game during it, and then we carried it on into last week. So it's a bit of everything all thrown together now, and we're in a good place.
And lastly, as you talk about transfers, I know you need to be obviously a bit willing, dealing and coy, but are you going to give yourself maybe a point in the window when you say, look, that's it? Are you going to take it to the end of the window? Are you going to say maybe a week or two's time, let's full stop it and go with what we've got, so you
no,
get back continuity?
Patience, I think we'll go at the end of the window. You always see what's out there, but as I say, nothing might happen, so we've got to be, the word is shrewd, but we're going right to the window to make sure that, just in case, and by that time, at the end of this month, you might see where we are with players and where the injuries are going, and just where we are in squad depth, and that's kind of things you're looking for. But we won't be just cutting it, Stevie. No, we're going to the end of the window.
And no names, but you don't expect any departures. You're just going to add to the squad, or do you see it being shifted about and anything?
No, we'll be hopefully adding, but if we can't, we can't. I think we've got a good enough squad here. When I got all my players fit, I've said that all along. I've just known a lot of my big ones fit as well. So I don't think there's anything too wrong with the squad in terms of depth when we've got everybody fit.
Perfect. Who loves that, Bruce?
Cheers, Stevie.
Just speaking about the likes of Ethan Cairns and Robbie Thompson, it's great to see them coming on as substitutes. How do you think they're handling maybe like the pressure of being required to come on if needed? Cause it's a big step coming up for a teenager playing Highland League 2 into the Championship level. How are they finding the pressure of it?
I think in terms of, they're in different places because they're different types of players, because you get Lewis Nicholson, who's playing professional football, and we've all got hopes for him. I think he's proven that. He's scored 2 goals for the club already, and he's if he can keep the head screwed on, which Lewis is a lovely lad, then he's got a huge chance in the game. Then you get to Robbie and Ethan, where different types of players. Robbie, real baller, sees a pass. He has come on a ton in the last probably 3 months. We've all been impressed with him, because remember, they train with us every day, and we are looking at him and thinking, you can go on there no bother, you can see a pass, you can go on the ball. He's got a lovely touch, and he's got great vision, so he's done extremely well. And then you get Ethan, who is an out and out striker, works his socks off, got technical ability, and he's a finisher, maybe a bit raw, but he's a strong boy as well. So different types of players at different stages of their career, but in terms of being happy with them, I couldn't be happier, because I've no qualms about throwing them on. I'm not thinking, we could lose a goal if these boys goes on. I'm thinking they could do something here, they could go and add to their tally. So they're in a good place as well, and it's brilliant to see how they've progressed in their loan time as well, and it's certainly helped them. So we thank the Highland League clubs for helping.
In that way, sometimes enthusiasm just as good as experience, really. Sometimes,
yeah. Sometimes you can't beat experience, so I think we've missed our experience this year. And when you see when the likes of Danny Devine and Sean Welsh come back in the team, that it helps us. So it's that balance you're looking for, isn't it? You're looking for your experienced ones to help these young raw ones. And I think in the last couple of games you've seen that when we've put them on, they've just kept the fluidity going in the game. So that's what the balance brings.
That's all from me, Billy. Thanks very much.
Cheers, Will.
Billy, I think your current injured list sits at 9, if I'm correct. I think Max Ram was added to it last week as well. It was just to ask, how is Max? Is he in contention this weekend? And
no.
Are any of the longer terms imminent?
Yeah.
In terms of a return?
They're getting closer. Still no there though, but Max is going to be out for another week or 2. It's worse than what we thought. Plenty of bruising as well. Did well to get through the game, I may add. And we've got Nathan Shaw back this week, which is brilliant. He's been on. He trained a couple of days last week. Came too quick for him, and it's great to have him back, because he was in some vein of form before he got injured, and he's trained all week. So happy to get him back in the squad. So that's another one added, which is great.
That's one off the list. That's great. Thanks, Billy.
Cheers, Chalky.